Good morning, everyone. We're going to get started in just a minute. Thank you all who started signing in into the chat.
Essence, this is Mary Massey on the 714-315 number. I can't sign in, sorry.
Okay, thanks for letting me know. I'm going to see if I can. Keeps moving. Okay, for some reason I can't rename you. Let me see.
Oh my Lord.
Okay, if someone's on from two devices, make sure you mute one. And if you're on from two devices, I can relate because I am on two right now, trying to bridge gaps between computer challenges I'm having. Okay, and who is, excuse me, calling from 310-344-5492?
Hi, Essence.
Hi, Essence.
Sorry. It's me,
It's
Jennifer,
me, Jennifer Ray.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, this is Jennifer.
All right, I think I have accounted for all of the phone numbers. So just a quick reminder, if you can go on mute when you're not speaking, we're going to go ahead and get started. Oh. Okay, just a minute, someone is joining on another. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you all for joining this morning. Thank you for signing into the chat. For those of you who are still joining, just remember to put your name and your agency into the chat. That's how we keep accounting of who's here. And then if you're signing in with any phone numbers, I will be asking for you to identify yourself. So we're going to go ahead and do a roll call because we do have a new member this morning, and there may also be some new voices or some who haven't been here in a while. So we're just going to go ahead and start. I'll go ahead with Harbor, and then those who are on for Harbor, you can identify yourself once I finish. So I'm Essence Wilson. I'm the Emergency Preparedness Nurse Coordinator for Harbor UCLA Medical Center. And who else is on the call from Harbor? Go ahead.
Hi, Ross Fleischman, the emergency physician at Harbor, involved in some of the disaster planning stuff.
Thanks, Rob.
Good morning, everyone. This is Audrey. I'm also with Harbor, part of Essence team with the disaster planning stuff.
Thanks, Audrey.
Good morning, everyone. This is Susie Evangelista, representing nursing education and also emergency preparedness. Thank you.
Thank you. And then we'll go with the rest of the hospitals. I see Torrance Memorial.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Christine Serra, the manager for the emergency management program here. And I believe we have two other members on the call.
Hey, this is Andy Shin. I'm an emergency physician, and I'm part of the emergency management team at Torrance Memorial.
Hi, this is Kathy Brosh from Respiratory, also part of the emergency management team at Torrance Memorial.
Thank you all. And then MLK.
Hello, this is Maurice Wright over at Martin Luther King Community Hospital, the manager of emergency response and safety.
Thank you, Maurice. Kindred South Bay. Kindred South Bay. Okay, I do see Dennis Ariola from Kindred South Bay is on. Maybe they're on another call right now. And let's see, do we have anyone from Little Company of Mary? Okay, I don't see anyone else from hospitals. Okay, so we'll go on with the clinics.
Julia Delchino, Surgery Center of South Bay.
Jennifer Ray, South Bay Family Healthcare.
Help me understand. Yes. How is determined if it's a yes or no?
Okay, and now skilled nursing facilities.
Morning, this is Chris Johnson with Sunnyside.
Morning, Chris. Okay, do we have any more? Skilled nursing facilities? Teresa Booty.
Good morning, Teresa Busey with Pacific Coast Surgical Center.
Okay, thank you, Teresa.
You're welcome.
Okay, and then we'll go ahead and let's see. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Denise Ariola, Kindred South Bay.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Denise, Kindred South Bay. Okay, and then we have a new representative from Kaiser South Bay. Judy?
Hi, good morning. This is Judy Pelson. I'm the new EMO and Environmental Health and Safety Manager here at Kaiser and South Bay.
Thank you, Judy. Welcome to the group.
Thank you.
And then we have our representative from Public Health, Alicia.
Hi, everybody. I'm Alicia Pucci. I'm from Los Angeles County Department of Public Health, the Acute Communicable Disease Control Program. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Alicia. We have our representative from HAS, Mary Massey. Okay, she did speak earlier. And then Chris Sandoval from the EMS agency.
Good morning, everyone. This is Chris Sandoval, LA County EMS, Disaster Services.
Thank you, Chris. And then Mary Story, can you identify what area you're representing?
Was this to Mary? I'm sorry.
Is this Mary Story? I see your name. I'm just asking what, if you can identify what agency you're representing. Mary Story.
She's from CAF. It looks like in the chat she put in she's from CAF.
Okay, maybe she can't hear me. All right, thank you, Chris. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started with our agenda. First, I just wanted to quickly, let's see, I'll quickly share with you the meeting dates for 2022. So I'll send this out to you guys. And first I have to apologize. So I'm having unprecedented computer issues. I've had 2 computers replaced in the last 2 weeks. And also my OneDrive is faulty, so I've been told. So all of those things are underway, hopefully soon. It's been kind of a nightmare for me, but so I owe you guys lots of different documents and stuff. Right now I'm still, trying to work through these issues. So you'll be getting the stuff, but right now I just at least wanted to share with you the current schedule for 2022. Bring it up more. So I'll be sending this out today because it did manage to save, unlike a lot of my other documents. So, our regular meeting pattern is the 4th Wednesday of every odd month, and it's from 9 to 11. We're still holding our meetings via Zoom. I think that's been working out. If you can go on mute, that would be great. Thank you. So then we're going to do our regular HBA meeting in March. I still have to confirm our PEDS update, so I'll add that to the schedule on when that's happening. It'll either be the May meeting or the July meeting. And then we're going to have our coalition decon drill. So that'll be the 18th of October. So it's at the end of the year. So, we're still, if you attended yesterday's HPP orientation, you learned that this is still kind of in, if we do end up going forward with it, hopefully we'll know by then. So it's scheduled for the later half of the year. So that way we can, not have to cancel it or something. And so that's the 18th of October. And then we have our September meeting, which is where we'll do our tabletop. We'll be likely using the scenario of the statewide exercise scenario or the county exercise if that happens next year, or we'll do another tabletop scenario. And then once again, our November meeting is in the beginning of November to avoid Thanksgiving holiday. So that's a quick preview of the meeting for next year. So I'll be sending this out to you guys after today's meeting.
Essence, before you change it, you might want to change those to 2022 instead of 2021.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so next we'll have our updates from HAS. Mary. Mary Massey.
Yeah, I just took a second on the phone to unmute. Just letting you know that all of the conference materials are posted online at both websites right now. They don't have the recordings edited yet, but as soon as they are, you'll be able to look at the recordings too, and all of the pieces that went with it. If you went to the conference and downloaded the app, everything is ready on there. They just haven't switched it over. And so when that's done, it'll be available to everybody, regardless of if you went or not. Also, just a reminder that HICS is available, and it can be in person or the virtual one. And if you are not a hospital, partner with a hospital to do it. It's designed for hospitals, but hey, everybody needs ICS, so don't worry about that. And CAP is doing the NICS, Nursing Home Incident Command.
All right, thank you so much, Mary. And is there a website that for those who did not attend the conference can go to access the content?
Yes, it's our disaster website, and it's Cal Hospital, so like California Hospital, but Cal Hospital prepare.org. And it's in my signature on my email. So if you don't have, just go look there, or you can send ones through Essence to get to me, and I'll send it back to you with the name or whatever. If you don't know my email, mmassey@calhospital.org.
Okay, I'll paste it. I'll go to that and then put it in the chat. I know you're on the phone. Thank you, Mary. All right, Chris.
Yes, so we do have some HDMT training that's going on December 7th and 8th. There's still open registration available. This one's free. It's a virtual training. I know we did see a lot of Harbor staff members attend in October. So if you guys have a need for training, you don't have to be a hospital. If you are a long-term care or other sector, healthcare sector, you can attend the course and then just modify it to fit your type of healthcare system. It really just gives you an overview of our program countywide and the resources that are available and how to utilize those resources within our system. We did have the HCP orientation. There was a lot of information that was covered. The scope of work doesn't change that much. There was some things that will be coming up next year, more for the hospitals regarding that, the actual additional poll, the daily census poll. That's where we'll be able to gather information and try to find information on what's our daily census so that we can conduct the exercise, which will occur next year in the first or second quarter. as we mentioned, our federal partners are really emphasizing that this is not going to be waived. The only way it would be waived if there was an actual surge again. Otherwise, we will have to conduct this survey. Or not the survey, but that surge test. And they don't call it low notice, no notice test. It's more, they call it the Mercy, and I have to I'm trying to look for it's an acronym for it. But otherwise, that hospital patient census is going to be a weekly poll, and that will be inputted in ReadyNet. And then once we have a baseline for that, then we can determine what's 20% of our bed census or available beds. Other highlights from yesterday was the fact that you guys have been doing really well with the response to what's the habit reports, and also the biosurveillance poll. So just be sure to educate your staff. I know there's some turnover that occurs at each facility. But we did see an uptick of improvement from last year, and I understand why, because of the whole COVID response. Any questions on any of the stuff that was covered yesterday? I don't want to recover everything that was discussed yesterday, but did you guys have any questions now that you've had 24 hours to look at the information? I know Terry sent out the exhibit on Monday, and we try to be very transparent where all the money is going, and we did present that at the orientation. One of the things that one of the facilities did, that desktop procedure that's due this year, is a facility sent us their copy, their starting point, and what you should do is look at your desktop procedure and be sure that every deliverable is addressed on the desktop procedure, minimally 1 to 2, maybe just one bullet point saying how would you address that and accomplish that. And then also, if you had just attend DRC meetings, but when are those DRC meetings? And then maybe adding the DRC representative information there, in case there's someone that does come behind you and replaces you, they would know where to go and how to attend those meetings. So there's other ways to, and maybe expand out in that desktop procedure, and what would you do? And if you had to conduct a decon drill at your facility, how would you do that? Who would you need to contact to, whether your committee or your decon team, how would you reach out to your decon team? Who would you need to contact within your facility to host a decon drill, and so on. So those are some things that we've identified based on some feedback that was asked from us to review their documents. Any questions?
Are any questions for Chris? All right, thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
And then we'll have our updates from public health. Alicia, do you want me to share on the screen the highlights?
Yeah, you can put them up there. That's great. Okay, so I shared these November highlights that just went out yesterday to all of the infection preventionists at your hospitals. And I shared them with Essence so she can, blast them out to you. And we put out quite a few LA Hans in the past few weeks. So I gave her the link so you guys can sign up if you don't already receive the LA HANs. And then sometimes what we do is forward the KHANs from the state. So anyway, I'll go over what we have in our highlights. So here we are in flu season again. Know that you can sign up for Influenza Watch, so you become part of the listserv, or you can just go to our website if you don't want to receive their emails but want to check in on it. It's our influenza surveillance report. Issues are published regularly during influenza season, which we're in. I actually just went on to, it's not the county site, but My Turn, and noticed that you can sign up for both flu and COVID vaccines, which is great. And then I guess before anybody asks me, I do know that the 5 to 11-year-old COVID vaccines, you can't select that from My Turn, but that's a state thing, not us. So I don't know why that isn't working, but I'm going to recognize that before somebody asks me about it. So back to influenza. So again, we do have the health officer order that requires all health care personnel to get vaccinated for influenza. And then we have a strong message about pregnant people to get vaccinated for COVID-19. And a HAN went out about that. There's a link for that there. And then the booster doses, of course, are available. And then the CDC has expanded the recommendations for booster shots to include Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, COVID vaccines, as well as mixing and matching the doses. So there's information on that, and an LA HAN went out about that. And then a KHAN, which I don't think it went out yesterday. I think it went out yesterday about the anti-SARS-CoV-2 monoclonal antibodies. And we don't have a link for that, but that's probably because we didn't send the LA HAN out. But if you go to our webpage of LA HANs, you'll find it there. So you can review the highlights that Essence, I think you will send out to everybody. And then know that we still have our investigation team at ACDC that is monitoring our CORIS, which is in healthcare facilities in Los Angeles counties, and that we work with facilities that are currently experiencing outbreaks, and we provide them recommendations and assistance to mitigate those outbreaks. And happy to take any questions that I can hopefully answer, and if not, that I can get back to you. Oh, and we also do have weekly vaccine office hours that occur. So if you are interested in attending those, I know that infection, well, they're actually happening right now, but your infection prevention department probably attends those. And so you can ask them if you have any specific questions regarding vaccines. Do we have any questions? Okay, thank you, everybody. If you think of anything, you can always email it to Essence or to myself directly.
Okay, thank you so much, Alicia. All right, so this is the end of the year. So this is where we just kind of talk about what types of items you guys would be interested in seeing in the future. So I went over the meeting schedule with you all. The only addition that needs to be added is the pediatric update to the agenda. Otherwise, we're open to, any topic that you guys find interesting or that you want to see during our meetings. In the past, we've done active shooter. You've seen us present some of our different events. And then if you guys have any incidences that happen at your facilities, we're happy to, discuss that. If you want to present any best practices or any types of things that you've learned from different activations that you've had to do at your facilities. So does anyone have any topics that you'd like to see on the agenda in the coming year?
This is Andy Shen from Torrance Memorial. I'm not sure if we've hit it on prior years before because I've only become more recently involved over the past year. But have you ever had talks on cyber attack or ideas on how to drill for a cyber attack?
Yeah, so that's actually really great. We did bring our IT security personnel to do a presentation. We can do that again and maybe do like a tabletop on that. So, and we can do, because there's always a turnover. So, we're all for talking about it again, and then it's always just nice to do a refresher. And so, yeah, we can definitely add that. That's a good one. Thank you, Andy.
Thanks, Essence.
Yeah, Essence, the West End did a cyber security tabletop, so you can maybe reach out to them, and so you don't have to start fresh with the new one.
All right. Thank you.
And I know some counties are doing some big work. San Diego's doing big work on coming up with a checklist for beginning cyber attacks, so you know how you're supposed to handle it, and they're going to share it when they're done. So I'll share it with this group.
Okay, thank you, Mary. So you're, do you have the resource on those checklists? Are those on the CHA website?
No, they're working on it right now. They're expecting it to take about a year.
Okay.
And I told them if you're done by the conference, you know, you can talk on it. Otherwise, and they'll be sharing. I'll share with you guys when they're finished, because it is quite a task. It's not your usual, and they're working with the FBI and local law enforcement too on it, as they've been hit down there pretty bad.
Okay. Well, thank you. That would be helpful. So I guess we'll wait and see what they come up with. But in the meantime, we'll definitely add cybersecurity, because that's always, you know, it keeps happening. It's a big topic and we need to stay fresh on that. So any other topics? And, you know, like I said, we can do things again. I know some of you are new, or so if, you know, you've not seen something on this committee, then, you know, we can definitely do it again. We've been working on this program since 2003. So we, you know, definitely duplicated over the years, just because there's some really good topics out there, and, you know, it's nice to repeat them. All right, so you guys can just start thinking about that. So I do want to give time for our report out. So we'll just start on our roundtable. So at Harbor, we are doing continuity of operations planning, COOP planning, used to be called business continuity, BCP, but you know, we like to change our acronyms. So right now it's COOP, and so we're working on that with our facility. And then we're also planning for our drill, or we're having the drill. We're going to be doing an earthquake evacuation drill. So we did do a lot of revisions to our earthquake, or more so our evacuation plan, especially with COVID precautions, different things that we have to consider now that we're still living in, you know, the wake of this pandemic. So we have all of our kind of post-COVID policy updates that we've been training staff on, and we're going to be practicing that tomorrow. So it's actually a pretty exciting drill. Our team, Dr. Ross Fleischman, Kelly Wilhelm, Shira Schlesinger, they've been really involved with getting really detailed with different injects that we're going to be providing to the hospital to add the realism, such as having videos played to show an earthquake of a high magnitude, and then providing envelope to have injects to give to different departments letting them know what their damages are, just really kind of getting, just ways to further engage, especially the inpatient units. Often during a drill, it's usually the emergency department or those who are inside of the command post, but we want to make sure that everyone is practicing. And so in this drill, we're also going to be having all of our inpatient units prepare for evacuation, even though we're not going to be evacuating. We're only choosing 2 units, one pediatric and one adult, and we're going to have all the units prepared. So that means going through all of the different evacuation tracking forms, identifying what patients would be ambulatory or need assistance or would need to go down in our evacuation device, the med sled. We purchased some additional evacuation devices for our PEDS population. We have 3 different devices. One is like a med sled with inserts for smaller children, and then some for infants. And then we have like the cigarette box that you just strap over your neck, and it's like a tray that you can carry a small infant in. And then we have a 6 baby device with like a little roller stair stepper that you can roll downstairs. And so we can place 6 infants in there and their equipment and oxygen. It has a manifold where you can connect 6 different oxygen tubes to. And so it's, we've really put a lot of effort into our pediatric evacuation, just that as a special population. So we'll be testing all of that out tomorrow, and we'll, present on this committee, how everything went. And as far as everything else, that's pretty much it at Harbor. Ross, do you have anything? Or Audrey, Robin?
No, I think that's a great summary of what we have planned.
All right. All right. And then let's hear from Torrance. Anyone from
Hey.
Torrance?
Oh, hey. Yeah, this is Dr. Shen, Andy Shen. I'll let Christine speak later. Yeah, well, one thing we're wondering is, because we're kind of getting our team back up, can we observe your earthquake drill tomorrow?
Yeah, I was actually going to reach out to you. So,
okay.
Yeah, that would be great. So I can give you different areas that I want you to observe. So, and the evaluation guide. So yes, thank you. That would be great.
What time of day should we be there if we want to observe your drill lesson?
7:30 would be check-in, and the drill is going to be from 8 to 12, and that includes the debrief. So we were going to run the exercise from about 8 to 11, and then have an hour to do our debrief.
Okay, yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for letting us come over. I think Christine's having computer problems, so let me just say a few things. So one thing we're working on is with our special pathogens team, we're kind of getting up with the PPE training for Ebola preparedness. We're going to be working with Cedars-Sinai because they're the local Ebola treatment center, and we're going to have them come over to our facility and see our setup to see if they think it's, if they have any suggestions for that. And then we're going to go over to their center and get some additional training there. And then we're going to plan on drilling an Ebola patient exposure sometime in the future. We're working on a Code Purple drill. That's the child abduction. And one thing we're also working on is because we're a burn center, we're working with our burn team to see if we can incorporate drilling their surge capacity during a future drill in the coming year. COVID-wise, we were dipping down into the low teens, and now we're at 20 COVID patients in our house right now, but we're getting by. I don't know if anyone else, Christine or Kathy, have any other updates.
Oh my goodness, sorry
know.
everyone, my computer was completely frozen. But thank you, Dr. Shen. He gave a very accurate update on what we've been working on here. I don't really have much more to report other than that, except we're super excited to be able to come over to see you in action, Essence, and hopefully we'll be able to model what we learned over here at Torrance.
All right. Well, we'll be happy to have you. So I'll go ahead and just send you everything, and we'll communicate that way. And thanks for reminding me, COVID. We're still in it. So our numbers did come down. It's kind of been up and down. We did hit the low single digits, and now we're back up to 8. And then today we have 2 ICU patients. So we have a total of 8 right now in the house, and then 2 of them are in the ICU. So it's kind of been, it's still there. And sometimes it goes into the teens and then it dips down. And so we are kind of in the, close to 10 range. So hopefully this winter isn't going to be bad like last winter, but we'll see. All right, MOK, Maurice.
Good morning again. Happy Wednesday.
Wednesday.
We have over like 129 patients. We only have 9 COVID, 2 in ICU. Our ICU is pretty full. Similar to you, on the 19th, we have a drill plan. Just the MCI. We're going to be partnering with our Martin Luther King High School across the street. So we can have we're trying to get ADAP certified. So we need, for one of our MCI drills, we need to have adolescents or minors in the drill. So that's how we're gonna incorporate that. Similar to you also, we only have labor and delivery. We don't house any children here, more are newborns, but we have the same type vest that you were talking about. So we're gonna try that during the drill. It's one of the ones where you can put like 2 babies in the front and 2 in the back and walk downstairs if needed. Similarly, outside of that, nothing else. We did a decon dining and dolphin again. We're trying to revamp our decon team because we didn't do much of it during 2020. So as you already know, with turnover, just people that were on the team are doing it is not as many as it was. So we're recruiting at our new hire orientations. We are having a small problem with the seatings. Currently, we're over the max, several bodies. Our mortuaries aren't picking up, and then our backup, which is affordable, says that they're full. And so we may be getting another refrigerated trailer if possible. That's been hard to find also because apparently this time of year, refrigerated trailers are in use a lot because of food. So we'll see. And that's pretty much it.
Oh, thank you for that, Maurice. Is anyone else having any decedent issues like with backup or mortuaries not picking up? I'm just wondering if this is a widespread issue.
Yeah, I asked Chris that yesterday just to double check and see if it was just us or a county thing. It looks like it might just be our area per se, and not necessarily widespread.
Interesting. Okay, I'll follow up with you on that.
Any assistance was definitely appreciated.
Okay, thank you.
And I would love to come to your drill tomorrow too, just putting that out there.
Okay, I'll send you some information as well. All right, little company.
Good morning.
Okay.
Hi. How are you? So for COVID numbers, we're pretty much hitting in the single digits. For Torrance, we have 10. San Pedro, we have 5. On the, let me check, the 19th, we will be doing an exercise mainly at our Torrance facility, and our San Pedro facility is going to oversee. We're going to do a surge drill involving our emergency department. And then while they're doing their full-on setup in our loading dock, we're going to do 2 rounds with several of the ED staff. We're going to be doing a tabletop with the leaders in the command center with our Hicks training. And then we'll also have a Teams available for those San Pedro leaders who can't come and oversee. So we're planning on doing that, much like Maurice. We're focusing on decon this time around. We kind of lacked and slacked a little bit in that area last year. So we're trying to create a robust team, find people interested in doing decon. Other than that, we're just kind of pushing through these booster sections, making sure we're providing boosters to our caregivers. So we have made some pop-ups available for both Pfizer and Moderna for our caregivers. And that's pretty much what we got going on right now.
All right, thank you, Emily.
Thank you.
Okay, Kindred South Bay. All right, Judy at Kaiser.
Hi, good morning. I've been here about a minute, so I don't have a lot to update on, but we are going to be doing an active shooter tabletop drill on November 18th when we would normally do the statewide drill. We're just going to get a small group of people together and do a facilitated discussion around active shooter. And that's all I have for now. In essence, I do have to jump off this call because I have another mandatory call at 10.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining this morning, and we will be in touch. So you'll be getting different emails from me for various updates and stuff.
Wonderful. I look forward to working with you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Did our Kindred representative get on? Kindred South Bay, Denise? All right, is Stephen from Gardena Memorial on? All right, our skilled nursing facilities, Sunnyside.
Good morning. So for Sunnyside, we did participate in the Great Shakeout last week. And then, or I guess it's 2 weeks ago, sorry, time's blurring together. And then we are doing a tabletop drill today for earthquake as well. In terms of COVID, we do not have any current cases and our red zone is closed.
All right, thank you. Roy, I did see you hop on.
Yes, I'm here. Morning.
Morning.
For Heritage, we joined the shakeout drill as well. We did also a tabletop prior to that, and then COVID numbers. I mean, we've not had any COVID for a long time now, so which has been good. We're 100% vaccinated, staff and residents. We're actually doing boosters now with, we started with the residents and we're about 60% done with them. And then, and also for staff, we're slowly starting to do the boosters as well for them. So, hopefully, we can get through it this winter, better than last year. So, I had a question though. I don't know if you got my email, Essence, regarding the last tabletop we did. Are we getting any minutes on that so I can attach to the tabletop?
Yes, those should be ready today.
Okay.
Or ready to at least send out today.
Perfect.
Thank you.
So yeah, thank you.
All right, are those all of the hospitals? I don't know if Stephen hopped on. let's see, and then Judy from Surgery Center South Bay.
Hi, really nothing new's happening at our center. We're just getting through all the drills. We're participating in drills as well. And we're going to participate in the after action report that's coming up in a couple weeks. And same status, we're making sure we have all negative COVID tests on our patients when they come in, prior to coming in. Staff, we're still working on getting staff vaccinated. We had some holdouts and, we're working on that. And that's all I've got.
Okay, thank you. Teresa Busey.
Hi, good morning. We're pretty much the same as South Bay. We just did the shakeout drill. We have a couple other drills that we're going to be doing. We haven't had one positive COVID patient before surgery. They've all been negative, which is awesome. And we have a couple holdouts too on the vaccines that we're getting under control here. And that's about it.
All right. Let's see, I want to make sure I did not miss anyone. Okay, and I know that Denise from Kindred South Bay is having some mic issues. She's saying all is well. There's no issues with staffing or equipment. They're dealing with ACDC for recommendations regarding carbapenem resistant, the bacteria crab. And COVID is under control. They only have one patient. So thank you for your update, Denise. All right, and that is all that I have. Dr. Schlesinger, I know you hopped on. Do you have anything you want to add?
No, I apologize for being a little bit late. I believe you gave our updates. I'm excited to hear that other people are doing exercises. And as I know Maurice was asking about coming to ours, I actually wanted to know, Emily, are you guys taking visitors or evaluators to yours? And I'll write you about it on the side. So, and that's pretty much it. Yes.
All right, so I did update the calendar for next year, so I'll be sending that out to you all, as well as minutes and all the stuff that we need to get to you guys for the closeout of the year. And for those of you who I won't speak to before then, happy holidays. This is our last meeting of 2021. I can't believe next year is already in 2 months. It's already November. So we'll go ahead and add cybersecurity to our agenda for our meetings for next year. And then also, if you have any other topics that you'd like to see in our meetings, feel free to send them to me. Or if there's any extra time you want on the agenda to present something going on at your facility, any activations of your emergency operations plan, or anything that you think the committee would find interesting, any best practices you want to share, and equipment also. So some of us have purchased equipment. Sometimes we'll bring vendors on to give us opportunities to see different things that we've purchased. We've shared things that way with like lighting, hand wash stations, evacuation equipment, all kinds of stuff. So, if you want to see any of that or share anything that you're doing, any of your resources, then go ahead and let me know and I can add it to the agenda. All right, and that is.
I actually have a question. Sorry, you just triggered me a little bit to think about this. But I'm just curious, I recently met a vendor that is marketing something that's the first time I've seen this, which is specifically a Wi-Fi or Bluetooth entirely independent wireless telemetry and end-tidal CO2 and pulse ox monitoring for patients. They're a new company. They're one of the first to be FDA approved for this. I am considering bringing them out here to kind of demo this. I was curious if other facilities would be at all interested in even looking at this, if this is something we might want to consider doing at a South Bay DRC meeting, or if I should just do this independently.
MLK would love to be interested to see.
Okay. Thanks.
Maybe we can talk about either just seeing when they're going to come out to Harbor and inviting those who are interested, or maybe we can do an in-person meeting and have like a virtual, kind of like a hybrid meeting for those who want to come, and we can have Zoom also available.
So that's one of the things we have to start to consider, is maybe going to hybrid meetings. I know there's limitations on how many people can be in the room. That's something that we're going to be discussing at the DRC coordinators meeting. So that's something that you guys may need to think of, and even maybe some guidance from public health. Because there's going to be a point where, what is our benchmark? What's our once we get a certain percentage of our population vaccinated, and everyone in the room is going to be vaccinated, if we're still working for an organization, because based on the mandates. So at what point can we go back into a in-person meeting? And those are tough questions, I know, but they're rhetorical at this point.
They are. It's like, people returning to work. It's like, the pandemic just revealed so much. There's benefits to technology, but then there's also disadvantages, because if technology fails, then, what do you have? So, I think we're all kind of seeing that as we kind of come out of this pandemic. It feels like we've been living in a cave. Kind of, now we're coming out, wiping our eyes from the bright sun, like just kind of seeing how to live again. But this has really been a very interesting time. But yeah, so we can see how we can incorporate hybrid. I know for some it's easier to just check in on the phone, or from a device. But there are those things that are missing from the in-person meetings. So we'll we'll talk about that for the coming year. All right. Thank you all for joining.
Since it's really quick, I had a quick question. I was kind of late coming in, but is there a formal statewide exercise this year, or I forget if there was or not?
No, the statewide has been canceled for this year. So many of us are just doing our own independent disaster drills for the year.
Okay, thank you.
So it's currently, being planned for next year. So, unless something happens again, right now it's on the calendar for November the 17th, 2022.
Oh, Essence, I had a quick question.
Yes.
When on the calendar it said coalition decon exercise, what is, because I'm kind of newer to this, what does that exactly mean?
So the coalition exercise we have been hosting here at Harbor, we're open to have it anywhere. So it's an exercise where EMS wants to kind of evaluate how we are able to kind of galvanize our teams and get them, just to kind of demonstrate that we've been training our staff on how to do decon. And so it's kind of a one-stop shop for that to be evaluated, where they do a drill for each region. And then they would, everyone participates by sending representatives from your facility to be evaluators. And so there are several drills that are scheduled for all the different regions. So we're region 4. And so what we've done is, and then they'll send out evaluators that are a mix up of all the other EMOs throughout the county, the HVP program. And so we've hosted it here with all of our 7 hospitals, where we, everyone needs to send 6 members of their decon team. They have the requirement is 6 because sometimes when they get there, some people's blood pressures may be elevated because we do medical monitoring, and then some of them are unable to suit up. And so this way, if you send 6 people, it's more likely that you'll at least have 4 of them that can get into the suits. And so usually those members would be 4 members who are going to suit up, and then 2 that will kind of be a backup or the safety officer for the team. And then we'll have tables set up for each team to just go through the action of deconning. And so in the past, we've done it where we just read out a scenario and then had everyone decon dummies, like, our decon, washable blow up dolls. And through our trailer, we did do a decon drill recently where we did live victims. And so we talked about doing that for our next drill as a region, to do live victim decon, where each team just kind of takes turns going around doing their decon of the victims that we would send through. And then the evaluators that are there just kind of walk along with each team they're assigned to, and just kind of, critique how well we don and doff, how well we communicate, the decon procedures themselves. And so it's just, basically like doing a decon drill at another facility, but on a somewhat smaller scale, because it's not like the full activation of the HIC structure with a command post somewhere. It's really just concentrated on the act of decon and getting your teams together, suited up, and doing the act of decon.
Okay, great, that makes sense.
So that's
And
how
and that's at your facility, right?
we've hosted it here. We're open to traveling. I know you guys have that nice decon shower that's so conveniently connected to your parking structure. I've been there for a decon drill in the past, but just as an observer. And so that's how we do them here, and different regions do them differently. We found that that's kind of the best way that works. It's less stress. Some facilities, if you get sent out to be an evaluator at another DRC region, you may see some of them doing more of a training aspect where it's like stopping at different stations where they, train on decon, and then maybe they'll train on the 2-PAM auto injector, or, they'll set it up as training versus decon. But we found that, just doing the actual practice, running through decon is, is the best fit for us.
Okay, and then, so you mentioned that, sorry, I heard you just mention November 17th, 2022.
Yeah, that's currently the date for the statewide exercise that's still being developed, and that's
okay.
If it goes through. So it's always the 3rd Thursday in November.
Okay.
So,
and we don't know the scenario yet of if they do.
Mary, are you on? Do you know? Because they usually kind of have an idea, like they have like a 5-year plan. Mary, are you still on?
Yes, sorry, I muted myself. We have a 5-year plan that is on the state's website. You can see it, and if you want to know what it is, it matches up exactly with the HPP requirements. So when it said we had to have a pediatric plan, we made it a pediatric exercise. When we had to do a radiological nuclear, we put it with that, so it matches those things. We haven't met, the state group has not met since COVID started, and we have not started meeting yet, which usually it takes us this long to get everything ready. So I put in a couple messages to Christy Perez to say, hey, what's going on? Are we going to start getting ready again or not? Because there is no word yet on whether they're going to do it. And I'm kind of thinking we need to be working on it.
All right, and so just Andy, so with the statewide exercise, it's kind of like, they have a subgroup that works on the actual tools that you use. So from the master sequence events list, so the order of all the different events that are going to be in the exercise. They often do the victim cards, so all the scenarios of victim injuries that break down, like it might be 100 victims or whatever. They'll have individual scenarios for those particular victims. In that, it'll be a evaluator tool that you would give to your evaluators, and then the exercise plan. So the write up with the description of the scenario, the things you want to test, the rules, and then sometimes they'll have a PowerPoint to present to like your staff on what the plan is for the exercise. And then, so all of these tools are, when it's with the state or the county, they're provided to you to use to do your exercise. So you're not like doing the whole exercise design on your own. And then you can take those tools and personalize it the way you see fit. Like if you want to add in a loss of power scenario to whatever they're testing, you can do that. So just kind of making it in line with whatever your activities are at your facility. You don't have to be stuck with just the scenario that is being exercised. You can personalize it to fit in line with whatever you have going on with your planning. Like if you guys just installed some, like when you guys did the decon shower, you may want to add a decon component to your drill, or, whatever the case may be. You can add in different items for the evaluation guide. Like if you added in new features to your command post, you can tailor it however you need, but the foundation is there where you're not having to do the complete design on your own.
Great, thanks, Essence. That's helpful to know. I appreciate it.
No problem. All right. Shira, is your hand up from earlier? Or did
Yeah,
you?
sorry, I forgot to lower it. I'll lower it.
Okay. All right. So with that, so thank you all for that great discussion. I hope you all found this meeting helpful, and we will be adding those things to the agenda. Once again, send me any additional topics, and Maurice and Andy and Christine, I'll be contacting you guys. Oh, Stephen, you're on. Sorry, guys. Stephen, do you want to give an update?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just now got on. I'm dealing with a generator issue this morning.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah. So I've just not plugged in. What am I missing? What do I need to do?
What are you missing? We were saying bye. No.
I missed everything, apparently.
The whole meeting. So, we just went over everything, but I can stay with you just to kind of check in with you. Real quick, what updates do you have?
Started last week, and I probably won't be helping me anymore. She said, "Well, if I have time, I can." Well, I don't know what finishes.
Okay, so just real quick for those who are still hanging on, if you can give us any updates for what's going on at Gardena Memorial.
Sure. Basically, what's going on at Gardena, we had deployed 2 of our tents because we were using them for some of the ones that were presenting to the hospital that we suspected of having COVID. We thought, well, we'll just keep one of them in the tent until we kind of do a triage with them outside. And then one of our larger tents that we had put up, just in case we didn't know what we were going to be seeing, back, I guess, about a week or so ago, a couple weeks ago, when we had the high winds, it lifted up our tent and just took it and kind of destroyed some pieces of it. So we took it down, and we have to get some other pieces to repair it. So we still have a small tent that's up just for that reason, but we're not really seeing much in the way of COVID. We only have maybe 5 or 6, sometimes 7 COVIDs in the hospital at a time, which is really not much considering what we've had in the past. So in that regard, we're doing okay. What we are seeing though is supplies. We're not getting sometimes what we need in supplies, or it's taking a lot longer for us to get some of the things we need. We're not worried about PPE. PPE we get. It's the other things that that we get with regards to, for example, we were ordering some racks that go in the ORs to hold the medical waste containers because they can't be on the floor, and we're having a problem getting those. They're delayed with those, and in stuff with engineering, with flooring, materials, and cove base. A lot of that stuff is just being delayed because of the docks, because stuff is just not getting off the ship. So we're seeing some delays with that kind of stuff. And again, the acuity level in the hospital is with regard to behavioral issues. It's through the roof. I mean, we are actually, which we've not had here in the past, but we are looking at installing the metal detectors as you enter into the ED. So yeah, it's gotten a lot more difficult to handle the type of behavioral issues we're getting in the hospital because we don't have a psych facility here. So, just, you know, in regard to that, we're kind of having that to deal with. As far as staffing goes, we seem to be doing okay with staffing. So that hasn't been an issue as of late. But that's pretty much about it.
All right, and any drills or anything planned at your facility?
Yes, thank you for letting me. Yes, we are going to be having a drill this month. It'll be a tabletop drill, which will be earthquake along with power outage, because we are having generator issues. So we need to know how to get through that as we're looking to replace our generators.
Okay. And did you take advantage of that program through the county where they're kind of assisting with generators?
I have not yet. I actually saw that yesterday as a part of the meeting yesterday. So because I'm kind of boots on the ground now with a lot of things going on here, kind of addressing them immediately, I will be looking into that further.
Okay. All right.
Wait, I have an update. Hey, actually, Stephen, before you go to the hard-on metal detectors like the TSA has, you might want to consider like the hand wands.
Yeah, we have hand ones here.
They're not
working. Our ER director is adamant about it. She wants to have the metal detector. So I'm telling her, you know, there's a lot involved with that. I mean,
right, it is. Have you? Because hospital leadership almost across the board, like at the top, they don't like the look of the hard metal detectors. So
yeah, I would agree with you there. But you know what we've had to do real quick, if it's okay, in our ER corridor, because we only have 10 beds in our ER, but we typically always have 20 patients or more. So we, unfortunately, sometimes we have people lined up in the hallways. Well, they will, if there's things that break up, fights break out, all kinds of stuff,
right,
to where they'll take a patient and run his head through the wall. Well, we've actually lined up 4 feet tall. We've lined our walls with, 1/4 inch aluminum or metal.
Mm.
So, and we've not had any issues with our walls lately, but and it doesn't look bad actually. It looks actually kind of okay because of the way we, got the whole corner looking. We're doing the same thing in our lobby because the damage is just, we can't keep up with the damage that they ripping things off the walls, and it's just gotten bad. It reminds me of back when I used to work in psych facilities, some 20 something years ago. So
yeah, that's ER today, sir.
Yeah,
ER
that's right.
Facility now.
Yeah, but I'm not a fan of putting the metal detectors in, and I'm trying to. We're still discussing it. That's what they want to do, but I don't know. But thank you for that.
Yes, we did deal with that too with our hospital leadership. We had to kind of go back and forth with the metal detectors. We still have them, so it does look like an airport, and because the issue just isn't going away. I don't see it being moved, but it's not the prettiest thing to look at.
Right.
I mean, it is what it is. It's
right.
Like,
we do have people coming in with weapons. They come in with guns in their backpacks and knives and.
Right, and so it's like you have to think about all of that.
Right.
Yeah, we deal with the same thing. And then, Stephen, I was just gonna stay on with you just to kind of give you an update.
I'm sorry to be late.
I'm sorry?
I said, I'm sorry to be late.
Okay. That's okay. I know that the life of an EMO,
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I have 7 other departments on top of it, so it's got me running.
Okay. And those of you who are, I think that was it from Stephen. So unless you want to hear me do a recap, you can go ahead and hop on off. I'm just gonna sit here with Stephen and go over something. So thank you all who are hopping off now. So Stephen, we just went over the meeting dates for next year. So I'm gonna send out the calendar. Save the date. The decon drill is going to be the 18th of October next year. So we are currently planning for that to happen. So unless COVID is still an issue, or if things tick up, then, that could change. But right now, that's the in-person kind of big item that we have scheduled for next year. And then I'm just asking for people to give me any ideas, any things that you want to see on the agenda for the meetings for next year. So just kind of think about any topics that you haven't seen, you kind of new, you've only been here for about 2 or 3 years. So there's some topics that, maybe we haven't had since you've been here. So, nothing is off limits, so whatever you want to see, even if we've done it before, or maybe you have seen something and you want to see it again. So just let me know. And then also, if you want to share anything that you're having at your facility, like anything you want to present, like how I presented the loss of power, or any best practices you want to share, that's always welcome. That's what we're here for. We want to see how everybody else handles different crises at their facilities.
Okay.
And then we, let me see. So we're all doing drills. You mentioned that you're doing a tabletop. Let me see. What else did we talk about?
And Essence, this is Mary. I forgot to say next year's CHA conference is September 13th and 14th. I made them give me dates so that you can do your planning.
Great. September 13th and 14th.
Hi, Mary. Long time no see.
Hey. And it's in Pasadena.
Oh, in person this time.
Well, we hope. We'll keep fingers crossed. That's what we're planning for.
Fingers crossed. That was a easy one. Yes, that would be good. Thank you. Okay, so then, and speaking of Mary, so Mary did, excuse me, share that all of the content from the recent CHA conference is all on the app. So if you attended, then you have access to that currently, and it's being uploaded to the website. So even if you didn't attend, then you can go to the website and be able to get the content from all of the presentations, because now some of them overlap. So I know I didn't like missing stuff. So I'm going to be checking that out. And then
the presentations are there, the recordings are being uploaded. So the presentations are all there.
All the slides. Okay. So we have
Mary and I used to work together. Do you know, it was been 21 years ago, back at Anna Memorial, a long, long time ago.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
And he survived.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. You guys were a part of Memorial Care. I didn't know that.
A long time ago, yeah.
Yep.
Boy, it's funny how, things come full circle in different ways, and, you can't run away from each other. You have to run into somebody.
Yeah, Mary still looks good. I walk around with a cane now, so, no, I'm just kidding.
Okay. So then Alicia from Public Health just gave us our update with, so I'm going to send out those highlights, but those are the most pressing things. So the rest, I think you can kind of figure out with the calendar and stuff. And we just wanted to kind of check in. Everybody is kind of doing the same with COVID. Our numbers are relatively low compared to last year. So hopefully they stay that way. Supply chain. I think you were the first one who mentioned supply chain issues, but I think some of us may have just kind of forgotten, because we are, it hits all of us. So we all kind of have that.
One thing I did forgot to mention is that, and probably everybody's doing the same, I'm not sure, but we did create 2 entries into the hospital, one for vaccinated, one for unvaccinated.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we basically have a back entrance, which is for all the staff, physicians, whoever works in the hospital. If you have your vaccination, you have a sticker on your badge. Security is posted up there 24/7, and you basically have to enter through that entryway. And you have to show, I don't care how many times they see you a day or a week, you still have to show every single time you come through that door your badge with the sticker on it that shows that you've been vaccinated. If you're unvaccinated, you have to go through the front door. And then if it's, depending on the person, we have a schedule for all those people that work here. of their first day of the week. And if you're one person that's not patient care related areas, then you have to have proof that you've been, that you're negative. So you have to go to the front, show your proof. And then if it's twice a week, then you have to show your proof twice a week.
Wow.
You have to wear a 95 mask. So yeah.
How are you guys doing with compliance with vaccination? Are you guys, have you seen a decline in your personnel or?
We have lost a few staff, not many, but a few. And then I would say that there's a good majority of staff that have been vaccinated. I would say if I go back and try to remember, but I think it's like out of all of our staff, I think you're looking at about 90%.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so that's pretty much it. So yeah, and you heard a lot of the updates and stuff from HPP yesterday. So, just get all of that stuff together, your, BCP or your COOP, BCP, whatever you want to call it, for your emergency management plan, your department. We have to submit that. That's kind of the new edition. That one's due, I think, the 30th of January. And then all of the other documents and stuff, deliverables are due on the 14th of January. So your desktop procedures, all of that stuff, your documentation for HPP. And that is pretty much it.
Okay, well, I appreciate you going over that with me. Again, I'm sorry for being late. I ran out of my office. I was like, oh crap, I gotta hurry and get on this. And I was like, oh.
Now, I panicked for a minute. I was like, oh, shoot, I hope because I send from different emails. And so sometimes, I'm like afraid it's an email that, like that I had before someone else joined the committee. And so, I know that happened one time before. So I just kind of panicked and I was like, okay, he was on it.
Well, and actually, we've changed names. We're actually, even though we're still Memorial Hospital of Gardena, the ownership name changed. The same owners, but they were using the Avante name, and then they had another name called Pipeline. So now they're using the Pipeline name.
Oh, wow.
So now our emails have all changed to, so it would be the same, the beginning of it is the same, stevens@pipelinehealth.us as opposed to avantehospitals.com.
Okay, so if you could send me an email and then I just save it. And so are you currently receiving forwards in from your?
Yes, I'm receiving. They did that a couple of months ago and I'm still getting forwards. I don't know how long we're going to do that, but I'm still getting forwards.
Okay, yeah. So then just send that to Chris Sandoval also, so they know. They just mentioned that yesterday. I hate when we do that. We change our email address and then, so. All right.
Yeah, I have one last question before you get off. And maybe you know or do not know about it. With this bioterrorism stuff training, when isn't that coming up again because I want to take the training, and it was last year when I tried.
Oh, you mean the Aniston?
Yeah.
Yeah, so right now they're saying that they're gonna start it up again. I know Maurice sent some people from his facility this year, and it stopped mainly due to low demand. And so because a lot of people weren't sending staff because of the, staffing shortages and stuff.
Isn't that required?
Not really. I mean, you have to do some training at your facility, but not everyone has to go to Aniston.
I thought we had to have a bioterrorist liaison officer or something like that, the certified person.
Oh, the terrorism liaison officer.
Yeah.
No, yes, you do. So that is still a current requirement. So that's something that you're going to need to submit. Are you one?
I am not one. We have another person that's leading, and so I need to make sure that I get in there. And I tried last year to get in, but I couldn't get in last year. It was full.
Yeah. So they're currently looking into revising how they do that, but the requirement is still going to be there. So reach out to Chris. I know that they're like, I don't know. I find that system is just a bit disjointed. Like I'll get messages from them and they don't seem to have a good receiving plan. They'll keep sending me the same message that I've already responded to. And then I never get a receipt that, they received the message. And so it's like, did you not get what I sent? Or are you just sending it to me because you haven't had time to weed out who has already completed this deliverable?
Right.
And so you know, it doesn't seem like they have someone on the receiving end really paying attention to emails, because we've had that before where EMOs couldn't get into training and couldn't get a response.
That's exactly what happened to me for a long time. And finally, when they replied, it had been a couple of months, and they said now we're full. I'm like, oh man, I've been trying for a couple of months to get in here.
Let me see if I have any. I thought I saw CLO training. Let me just do a quick search. Okay, upcoming trainings. Oh, well, TLO conference. Let's see, do they have a basic training? Oh, okay. Wednesday the 17th in Chino. So let me forward this to you.
Okay.
It's gonna go to the Avant, because that's what.
Okay, that's fine. I'm still getting it, so.
Okay, so click on that right now. It's in Chino. The class in Los Angeles, well, that already passed anyway. So just hurry up and get in. I hope that you're able to get into it. And I'll just send, that's the latest one that I have. So,
okay.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for everything.
No problem.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. Audrey or Ross, did you want to, are you hanging on for anything? Sorry, I'm like coffee.
Oh, no, not in particular.
Okay.
Just working on lots of stuff by email. I expect you'll hear lots from me today, but no.
Also, Ross,
yeah.
3 West step down unit is the adult unit.
Okay, good. I think that's what I had already had in my notes.
Okay, good. I'm so proud of them. All right, save chat notes. I'm just saving things.
Guys, just real quick, is there anything else you need like to help you guys with?